the norm in the Arab world is that you should not in the Arab world, I want to say, or in
certain circles of it.
Yeah, major circles of
Okay.
it. You should never relate Jews to this land,
Interesting.
which is horrendous and preposterous.
So-
because the word Jew, where does it come from? It comes from Judea.
Judea, yeah.
Judea, and the Jews belong to that land. So whoever say, Loay, you should tell the Jews to go back to where they come from, I totally support that. The Jews should go back to
Yeah.
where they come from, which is Israel, Judea. The norm in the Arab world is that you shouldn't. I was born and raised in Saudi Arabia. I was raised in a family that is half Saudi, half Egyptian. I was raised with the how to say this, with a great influence of Islam in my early life. I was a very, how to say this, religious Muslim. I memorized the whole Quran
Wow.
at the age of 18. I was someone who was very in deep love with religions anyway, but it was like a very different views. It was a different perspective than the one I had when I was 27. So when I was 18, 19, 20, I was very, how to say this, extreme. I thought that following the religion by the core and with all things taken literally is the right thing. But things changed when I went to study French in Paris 2010. I lived with a Jewish family, and that experience itself really transformed my life for the better. So it was the first encounter I had with the Jewish family. I changed lots of my views about the Jews. I had so negative views about Jews and Christians as well.
Okay.
But the first encounter really changed my views, opened my heart, I would say, and I became a different person. I came back to Saudi Arabia. In 2011, I decided to do a show on YouTube. It's called Fallimha, which means teaching people languages through teaching people English through Hollywood movies. I won the best educational idea in Saudi Arabia. I was honored by the Minister of Education in Saudi. And then I became really a different person. But I want to tell you one thing, Zubi. It was that Jewish family that had great influence on Loay in 2010, that all the achievements that Loay made from 2010 till 2024, I hope, were made of that single encounter with a Jewish family that really changed my life, and really, how to say this, cascaded a new perspective on how I see things, how I see different people from different faiths. And I became, I fell in love with Judaism, Hebrew, the Bible, and I'm trying to do this noble message of bringing people together through social media.
No doubt. Well, it's something that, in my view, should not be as controversial as it is.
Should not be something, and the reality is something else. Of course. Because when it comes to the word Jew or Israel, it is very sensitive. But I've been there, done that. So and I really, Zubi, I want to say one thing. I really praise God for making me go through this stage, seeing the darkness and overcome it, defeated it, and see the light. And I'm so grateful that he made me do this, because when I see people attack me on social media or insult me or say, I just lay down, let's just say, you know what? I've been in your shoes.
Yeah.
And I've seen this darkness before. I overcome it. So I tell this to people who choose not to be my friends anymore, because I've been outspoken about my belief in a permanent peace with Israel, and I love the Israelis as much as I love the Palestinians. I love everyone. No hate. It's like it shouldn't be controversial, but because Israel and Jews and everything, it's very sensitive.
For sure.
I remember, Zubi, when I was young, I read a book called The Protocols of the Elders of Zion. That was one of the fundamental books that made me hate Jews.
Okay.
Really. I cannot forget that. So, plus also religious texts that are interpreted in a way that would make you hate Jews. And this is very unfortunate. And we're trying to change this with knowledge. I always say, to defeat radical extremism, you need to have two things: a pure heart and knowledge.
That sounds right to me. I'm curious. Tell me more about where did you grow up in Saudi Arabia?
Jeddah.
In Jeddah. Okay.
Jeddah.
Okay. I used to live.
I am Jeddawi Ahlawi. Jeddawi is like raised in Jeddah, born and raised in Jeddah. Ahlawi is like I support or I cheer for Al Ahli club.
Okay. I love that. I love that.
Football team.
That's cool. So we've got an interesting crossover there, because my parents used to work for Aramco. So
you're on the eastern side. I'm
Yes.
the western side.
Yeah.
Jeddah is the western side.
I lived in Saudi. Unfortunately, I don't speak Arabic, but I actually went to school in Saudi Arabia.
How come?
They didn't teach it to us. They only taught it to the Arabic students.
Oh, really?
So if you were a student from the UK, America, Canada, you didn't learn it. But if you were from Egypt, Syria, Jordan,
okay.
you had classes in Arabic. Yeah. So
yeah.
it's actually a big shame. I hate to say that I lived in Saudi Arabia for a long time and I don't speak Arabic.
Oh, so you should
but
Saudi now.
that's
You
the
should
reality.
speak Shargawi.
I know. I wish. I'll work on it. Let me get my Spanish up to scratch, and then I think Arabic will be.
How many
next after
languages
that.
do you speak?
Perfectly one.
Okay. It's English,
Perfectly
so
one.
that's
Yeah.
what matters.
To be able to make a song
what
or
it
to
matters,
do a
yeah.
podcast like this, just English.
English is good. English is good.
Basic conversation I can manage in Spanish. My French is a little bit rusty right now, but
Vous parlez français, monsieur?
oui, je peux parler français.
Ouh là là.
También.
Wow.
Oui.
Okay.
I'm going to mix it with Spanish right now though, because I've been we'll see.
Good.
Not también.
Languages really open your heart and open
sure.
your mind
Yeah.
to different cultures.
You speak English, Arabic, Hebrew, and French?
French un petit peu. I speak. I went to France
Yes.
to study French. I ended up learning Hebrew and Judaism.
Oh,
And
okay.
because the family was a French. It was a Jewish family,
French.
so I fell in love with the Hebrew. Not only the Hebrew language, the Hebrew hatarbut. The culture, the background, the Bible, lots of things. So, and I also speak Syriac Aramaic.
Okay.
I did one interview in Syriac Aramaic with an Aramaic TV. Aramaic is like the ancient language
Yes.
that Jesus spoke.
Yeah.
I also write Egyptian hieroglyphs, Heretic and Demotic. These are the. By the way, there's nothing called hieroglyphic language. Hieroglyphic is not a language; it's a writing system. The language is Egyptian.
Yes.
So I know how to write the demotic because I studied the Rosetta Stone very well. Rosetta Stone is a stone that is written in 3 different languages: Demotic, Greek, and 3 writing systems: Demotic, Greek, and hieroglyphic. And this is how the Napoleon and the French scholars at that time decoded Egyptian hieroglyphs. I also write ancient languages like Nabatean.
Okay.
The Nabatean script is the Aramaic script, is where our Arabic script came from. And Lihyanit, these are ancient languages in Arabia because I've done lots of programs introducing the Arabian civilizations in Saudi Arabia to the audience in 2000 and to the Arab audience in 2016, 17.
Okay. So is languages, is that what you studied at university?
No,
no?
I studied software engineering.
Oh, software engineering. Gosh, we have a lot of parallels.
Yeah,
I'm
software engineering.
a computer science graduate.
All right, I'm
Yeah.
a software engineer, and but language is like my passion.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a cross reference here because when you study software engineering, you're into coding, and coding you need to. I wrote with C#,
Okay.
C++, and now I still use Python. It's a language that is used for data scientists, web scraping and stuff like that. So I do lots of Python and data scientists. I scrape lots of websites to get some data here and there. I still use my software engineering skills, but my passion is for languages and history.
Okay.
And I plan, inshallah, to do something related to reviving history with AI in a way to make education much easier to people. Because I love history so much. And I believe that if you don't understand history, you would never be able to deal with the present and you would never have a bright future.
There's so many directions that we can go on this podcast. So tell me what it was that you believed prior to this trip to France. So before you went and you stayed with this host family in France, you said that you would have described yourself as very religious. You had memorized the entire Quran. You had
I read the 6 books of Sunnah. We call it the 6 books of Sunnah. Al-Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmidhi, An-Nasa'i, Ibn Majah, Ibn Dawood. I read them all.
Okay.
I had this talent, by the way, of memorizing so quick and reading so fast. Alhamdulillah, I was a how to say this, a bookworm.
Yes.
I loved reading. I still do, but now I do it on Kindle. Kindle and Audible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my views were very, how to say this, were like a strict religious Muslim views that you take it to the literal meaning of traditional Islam, and it was not very positive. I'll be very honest with you. So I'm so glad that I had this experience that changed my life forever.
Yeah. What was that experience like? Talk me through it a little bit.
Before or after, you mean?
you'd like to begin.
So before it was like you should never have Jews and Christians as friends,
Okay.
because there's a verse in the Quran that says that, and the classic interpretation is that you should never have friends who are Jews and Christians. You should hate. I know some people would say, no, we have nothing like that. And when someone argue with me, I say, you think you know Islam better than I do? I am not an arrogant person, but I'm just telling you that I was so deeply believing in that, and this is why I say that the experience with the Jewish family in Paris really changed my perspective. I had this inner battle between the religious texts and the classic interpretations that teach hate,
yes,
and the reality. And I remember, Zubi, that the mother, it was a homestay program. So a homestay is a program that you live with a family. The mother's name was Rachel. And Rachel told me, Loay, you know, the Torah doesn't teach hate. It teaches that, or it tells you that there are enmities between the children of Israel or the Jewish people or God's people and the surrounding neighbors. Mm-hmm. But it never talks about hate. Yes. So, for example, the Torah talks a lot about the children of Israel and the Egyptians and how the Egyptians enslaved the Hebrews. Mm. But when God saved the Hebrews, there was a great mitzvah or a great commandment that God told the children of Israel in the Torah that you should never abhor or hate. Lo tet'ev mitzri ki ger hayita be'artzo. You should never hate an Egyptian because you are foreigners in the land. So God is, that's Rachel's words. And by the way, so many things that I say right now are inspired by Rachel. So we understand that there could be enmity between certain people, but it's not eternal enmity. Unfortunately, so many, fundamentalists in the Islamic religion believe that some enmities are eternal. Mm. And I held this belief, but I conquered it, I overcome it, I defeated it with knowledge and with a kind heart. A kind heart is a very important aspect, Zubi. You know, there's a prayer by King David in Psalm 51, create in me a pure heart, O God, and a steadfast soul renew in me. This is a very important prayer. So if you have a pure heart, even if darkness could fool you once, it would never fool you twice.
What did that process look like, and perhaps more importantly, feel like for you?
I was very disappointed at what I thought things were, because I was taught, or I had this belief that the teachings that I have are the ultimate teaching, that they should never be questioned, and they are always right. But when you live with people who have these beliefs that you were told that they were the bad people, and then you see with your eyes that it's not true, you feel that you had to have the courage of expunging this hate. Expunging the hate requires great courage
and humility.
Because, alhamdulillah, thank God, Baruch Hashem. So if you don't have the courage, because the inner battle would tell you, oh, you want to stand out? Everyone is doing this. Everyone is hating. And even if they don't, how to say this, if they don't approve, or if they don't say it out loud, because some people say, no, we never hate. No. But when it comes to the real action, they hate. Mm-hmm. They really hate. So it requires courage and how some sort of the ability to say this is wrong, and this is wrong, no matter what the source is. This is wrong.
Wow. So that was 14 years ago.
That was 14 years ago.
Okay.
I remember, Zubi, when I returned from Paris, I had a conversation with my mom. And I told her I'm starting to have different ideas about the Jews and everything and stuff, because I lived with a nice Jewish family and I learned Judaism. It was
How did your parents respond to it all?
So my mom told me, Loay, I'll give you 2 months. 2 months. You are influenced by a family and maybe you loved them. So 2 months and you'll go back to where you were.
And what were...
But hold on.
Okay.
It's now 14 years.
Yes. What were your parents' perspectives on that?
My family was always liberal.
Okay.
My family never taught me hate.
Okay.
But it's like the media and the education system, or the school at that time. But let me just say one thing. I have to commend the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Prince Mohammed bin Salman, because he's doing a great job in rehabilitating the education system in Saudi Arabia. Now it's tremendous. It's
interesting.
It's really great. But I remember, because in high school I was in 1997, 1990. So when I graduated in 2001, I was like 18, 17 at that time. So now the education system curricula changed a lot, and we have to commend the brave and amazing Crown Prince for doing great stuff. I really love this prince, and I believe he's an honest person who wants to take his nation to the next level.
Yeah.
So I would never blame the family, but the media also played a big role in depicting Jews and Christians as evil or as
in what sort of way? So it's fascinating because I lived in Saudi Arabia in total on and off for about 20 years. But of course, living there as an expat and being in an Aramco bubble, you're going to have a very different experience to Saudi nationals who are living in the cities and who are speaking Arabic, and they're in the culture and they're surrounded by very different people, different messaging, different education system. So I myself, I'm pretty ignorant and naive to what the schooling system is like in Saudi for Saudi nationals, what it was like then and what it's like now. So can you
It's now much better.
Okay.
Of course, much better. And also in the UAE, alhamdulillah, it's like a great progress throughout the Arab world, to be very honest. But I was going to tell you that there was a great shift from lots of negative depiction of other nations or other religions in the curricula to a better one now.
Okay.
And if you look at the curricula now, you will see that this is great, and this has to be commended to the Crown Prince because he's doing this great job. And education really is the stepstone of fixing any nation, Zubi. And this is why I say when this war ends in Gaza, the first thing that has to be done is education. Education, and you have to teach people how to love other religions or other, not other religions, other religious groups.
Yes.
And to remove this self-narcissism that would take them over to think that they are better than other religious groups. This is something very important because I took Islam very seriously.
Yes.
I was so honest. You know, I always say this: when you are sincere in your hate, in the search of God, God will touch your heart one day and will take you to the right step or to the light. Because if you ask the 19-year-old Loay, do you hate Jews and Christians? Of course.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's a verse that says the fierce enemies of the believers are the Jews. If you ask me now, when I'm 40, what do you say about this verse? I would tell you this verse was contextual. You have to read it in the context.
Okay.
It had a context, and it stopped there.
And what is the context of that? I'm no
that there
expert
was
on there.
that the Prophet in the beginning of his message to spread Islam, to spread a new faith, you would have certain conflicts here and there.
Yes.
And I would understand that these conflicts had circumstances that do not exist today. And I would keep them there.
Historical context.
Historical context, just like exactly the same way you read the Bible.
Yes.
You can never say that the verses in the Bible that say a slave has to obey his master, applicable every time and everywhere.
Yes.
Now we abolished slavery.
Yes.
So you cannot say, let's restore slavery in order to apply these verses. Some fanatics do this, by the way.
Yeah. You with any of the holy texts, if you were to just take it with no context and just
especially when it comes to conflict.
Individual
I'm not
lines,
talking about texts that tell you to be a good person or to give the alms tithe or to give money to the poor or to do this. I'm talking about contexts that are related to conflicts with other nations.
Yeah.
It is temporary, and the Torah says that.
So tell me about the work you've been doing over the past decade plus. How has that grown and evolved in terms of your social media outreach, in terms of becoming a peace advocate, in terms of your YouTube channel, your Twitter presence, Instagram presence?
So I started to do this career in 2011.
Okay.
My career really started in 2011. And I told you, 2011 is a year after 2010. So I was the Loay who expunged hate of radical extremism teachings, and I became a different person. It's like you take a very nice cold shower with all the hate going out of your heart. So I started with YouTube, teaching people languages, teaching mainly Saudis English language through Hollywood, and this is why I was honored. I did lots of translation services I translated the speeches of the Saudi kings from King Abdulaziz, may his memory be a blessing, Allah yarhamu, to King Salman, may God bless him. And I did also history projects in Saudi Arabia and in the UAE. I did a program called Dubai Before Common Era. It talks about the history of Dubai, Al-Ushush, Al-Qisas, Al-Sufuh, Saruq al-Hadid. These are the ancient sites that have rich history in Dubai. And I did that in collaboration with Dubai Media Office back in 2018. And I've done lots of work in history and languages, and I'm so proud of that work. And 2017, I started to be outspoken about Israel and about how Israel. That was 3 years before the Abraham Accords, Zubi.
Yes,
that was not. It's like not. Oh, he's just speaking about the Abraham Accords when the Abraham Accords happened. He's an opportunist. Yeah. That is not true. So even before the Abraham Accords, I spoke about it, and I saw tremendous hate, tremendous anger, tremendous opposition, and I, you know, I'll be very honest with you, Zubi. I really understood why people oppose an Arab, a Muslim, to learn Judaism and Hebrew, especially from Islamist scholars.
Yes.
You know why? Because they would know that you would know the truth that they are trying to hide. How beautiful Judaism and the Torah and the Bible are, and then you might have positive views. This is my conclusion. This is why so many Islamists were, no, why he's trying to make people convert to Judaism, which is silly. Judaism is not.
It's not a converting religion, really.
It's not a proselytizing religion.
Yeah.
That's first. I'm a Muslim.
Yes.
But so many people don't believe in that.
And people will say that you're
so
funded by the government.
I know why he left Islam like a couple of years ago. And 3 months ago, I was in Mecca doing Umrah. So I don't know how I left Islam with this. But of course, you know, lots of people on social media, they have great imaginations.
Oh, yeah. There are people who don't think I'm real.
Oh, really?
There's people who think I don't exist and that I'm an AI.
So you are real.
I don't know.
I was convinced when I saw it with Elon Musk. I said, okay, he is real.
Well, I think this just shows the level of imagination some people have.
Oh, yeah.
Because what is more probable? I mean, if you think of everything I've done through the decades with my music, my podcast, my books, all the people that I've met, all the photos I've taken, what is more likely? That I'm real or that I'm an AI and all of these people are all in on the conspiracy theory, and everyone is hiding the fact that
Let me tell you my own explanation to that, because they are very lazy in educating themselves and in seeking the knowledge that would change them to better people. It is easier for them to say, there has to be a conspiracy. Yes. So this is how they. And I'll be very honest with you. When I had the inner battle, when I lived with a Jewish family in Paris, I was between two Loays. A Loay that was telling you, you shall learn the truth, and the truth shall set you free, but you have to invest more time. And another Loay, a lazy Loay, oh, come on, just be with the herd, just be with everyone else. No.
Do you know what
These Jews are treating you nice because they are pretending to be Jews, but the fact is that they are part of the elders of Zion. That was.
Do you know what I was thinking is I'm so glad that you met like a great family. It's so
Thank
good,
God.
right? No, honestly,
Thank God.
It's so good you didn't go all the way to France and you're with some horrible family. You know?
Oh yeah, so I'm really grateful because I'll be very honest with you. I wrote an email to the school, and I told them I'm not proud of this email, and I have the email, and I'll make a video about it. An email from 2010. I told the school that I don't feel comfortable with the Jewish family. So please put me with a Tunisian, Moroccan family. I still have the email. Yeah. And the family didn't take it personal. And thank God, I don't know why they I'm just saying thank God they didn't. So yeah, but imagine one family changed the life of one person. They didn't know that I was I was not a social media influencer. I didn't have any influence. I didn't have 1 million followers across different platforms. They didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah. I didn't know I would be sitting now with Zubi, who interviewed Elon Musk. I have to say this again because I love Elon Musk.
He's a good guy.
But I'm just saying that it was an honest change that they had, and they just did it because they wanted to fix the world.
Yes.
And now it is my responsibility to use my social media to bring Muslims and Jews, Arabs and Israelis closer to fix the world.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use my voice for hate. Never.
When you became more outspoken, firstly, was there something that prompted that? Was there a particular moment that made you decide, hey, I want to speak more about this very controversial and polarizing topic?
I remember when America moved its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem in 2017. People started to talk about that the Jews have no connection to Jerusalem, and I just tweeted like a historical fact tweet that went viral and opened the doors of hell. when I said that Jerusalem was the capital of Israel 3,000 years ago, when King David, whom we honor and revere as Muslims, took it as a capital after it was Hebron or Al Khalil. So it was a very historical context tweet, and this tweet itself, hell loose, hell loose. And to be very honest, I backed up a bit. I said, what did I do wrong, guys? I just said it. But the norm in the Arab world is that you should not in the Arab world, I want to say, or in
certain circles of it.
Yeah, major circles of it. You should never relate Jews to this land.
Interesting.
Which is horrendous and preposterous. Because the word Jew, where does it come from? It comes from Judea. Judea, and the Jews belong to that land. So whoever say, Loay, you should tell the Jews to go back to where they come from, I totally support that. The Jews should go back to where they come from, which is Israel, Judea.